The clock ticks down the minutes as I sit alone in our living room, the theater program lying abandoned on the coffee table. The anticipation of an evening filled with drama and laughter hangs heavy in the air. But instead I find myself staring at the muted glow of the television, where a rearroo of some forgettable sitcom plays to an audience of one. My wife Sarah had promised she'd be ready by 6, but when the hour arrived, I found her wrapped in a blanket, eyes heavy with fatigue. "I just don't feel well," she murmurs, her voice barely above a whisper. I glance at her, the vibrant energy she usually exudes dimmed to a flicker. Part of me wants to argue to insist that we go anyway. But the other part, the one that wants to be a good husband, respects her wishes. "Okay, let's just rest." Then I say, forcing a smile that feels strained. The disappointment sits like a stone in my stomach. With a resigned sigh, I decide to make the best of it. Maybe I can catch the show's second half later. They often run late. I pull on my jacket and step outside, letting the cool evening air wash over me. As I make my way to the theater, I think about Sarah, wishing I could shake off the feeling that something is off. But as I settle into my seat among the crowd, the stage lights dimming, the feeling only intensifies. The show begins, but it quickly turns into a series of dull monologues and predictable punchline. I glance at my watch 20 minutes in, and I'm already bored. I can't shake the nagging worry about Sarah, and the laughter around me feels distant and hollow by intermission. I decide to cut my losses. I stand slipping out of the theater, my mind racing back to home. When I step inside, the silence is deafening. The faint smell of her favorite candle lingers in the air, but the house feels empty. "Sarah." I call out, hoping for a response that doesn't come. I pull out my phone to check for messages, but it's silent. Her phone unavailable. Feeling a pang of worry, I decide to head next door. The old man, Mr. Henderson, is the neighborhood gossip, his ears always perked for the slightest hint of drama. If anyone knows where Sarah is, it's him. I knock on his door, the sound echoing through the stillness of the evening. After a moment, the door creaks open and Mr. Henderson appears, his eyes glimmering with curiosity. "Evening. Jake, what brings you here?" "I'm looking for Sarah. She's not feeling well, and I thought she might have come to see you." My voice trails off as I peer into his dimly lit living room. "Ah, no, haven't seen her," he replies, but his gaze flickers past me, and I sense a tension in his demeanor. Just as I turn to leave, something catches my eye. I see movement behind him, a flash of skin, a cascade of wet hair. My heart drops as a figure steps into view, its saw wrapped in nothing but a towel, glistening droplets of water clinging to her skin like stolen secrets. My chest tightens. "What the hell?" I stammer, shock coursing through me like ice. Sarah's eyes widen and the color drains from her face. "Jake, I didn't expect you back so soon." Her voice is a thin veneer of surprise, but I see the panic lurking just beneath the surface. Mr. Henderson's expression morphs from curiosity to horror. As if he stumbled upon a crime scene, I take a step back, feeling my world tilt. All the moments of doubt I had brushed aside, flood back the whispers of my intuition, now screaming in clarity, "You weren't feeling well." "Huh." I managed to choke out my voice, dripping with sarcasm. "And this is how you spend your time?" "JK." She starts, but I can't bear to hear her excuses. The betrayal cuts deep, and a dark, furious tide rises within me. I turn on my heel, storming out of the house, every heartbeat a drumbeat of anger and confusion. I can't think clearly, my mind racing as I shove my hands into my pockets. The night air feels charged with electricity, the streetlights casting long shadows. As I walk away from everything I thought I knew, a part of me is shattered. The other part burns with a desire for revenge. As I reach the edge of our street, the decision crystallizes within me. I will ruin her life, just as she has ruined mine. The thought is liberating, igniting a fire I didn't know I had. I don't know how yet, but I will make sure she feels the weight of her betrayal. For now, though, I walk home alone, the familiar streets now foreign, and the life we built together feels like a distant memory slowly slipping through my fingers like sand. In the silence of my home, I take a deep breath, steeling myself for what comes next. I am done being the good husband. It's time to take back control. The next morning dawns, but the sun feels like a cruel joke. I wake up with a heavy head and a knot in my stomach, the memory of last night's revelation replaying like a broken record. Sa's naked form, emerging from Mr. Henderson's bathroom, haunts me. I sit on the edge of our bed, fingers gripping the sheets, my thoughts spiraling into a dark abyss. I hear the front door click open and my heart races. I haven't spoken to Sarah since I stormed out, and the anticipation of her return makes my skin crawl. She steps inside, looking disheveled, her hair damp, and her eyes red-rimmed. The moment she sees me, her face falls. "Jake, we need to talk," she says, her voice steady yet laced with desperation talk. I snarl, rising to my feet. "You think I want to hear any more of your excuses? Just listen to me, please." She takes a tentative step forward, and I flinch, a mix of anger and heartbreak coursing through me. "Why should I? You were just having a nice little shower with our neighbor while I was at the theater." I pace the room, my fists clenching and unclenching, struggling to contain the whirlwind of emotions. What else am I supposed to think? It's not what it looks like. She insists, her voice rising. "Mr. Henderson was just helping me with a project and I save it." "You think I'm stupid." I cut her off, my voice sharp. "I saw you saw, don't lie to me." Before she can respond, the doorbell rings, shattering the tension like glass. I shoot her a glare and storm past her, swinging the door open. On the other side stands Alex, my best friend and someone who knows all the ins and outs of my life. "Hey man, thought I'd check in on you." Alex says, his cheerful demeanor fading as he notices the storm brewing behind my eyes. "Everything okay? Yeah, preachy." I mutter, stepping aside to let him in. "Just had an interesting night." Interesting how he raises an eyebrow. Curiosity piqued. Sarah had a bit of a meltdown. I caught her with Mr. Henderson. I spit out the words tumbling from my mouth like lead. "What, are you serious?" Alex's face pales. "What the hell, man?" "Yeah, well, it's all true. She claims they were just working on some project, but I don't buy it." I cross my arms, pacing again as I feel Alex's eyes burning into me. "Dude, that's messed up." "Have you talked to her?" He glances over at Sarah, who stands quietly by the kitchen entrance, her eyes downcast. "Yeah, we talked. Not that it mattered," I reply bitterly. She thinks I'm just going to forgive her like this isn't the biggest betrayal of my life. Alex shoots me, a sympathetic look, his expression softening. "You need to confront this. You can't just let it fester. Talk to her. Get it all out." "I don't even know if I want to." I reply, my voice heavy with frustration. "She shattered everything we built." "I get that. But walking away from this won't help you heal." He counters. "You deserve answers. You can't let her just waltz back in like nothing happened." I look at Sarah, who's standing there, her face pale and drawn. She looks vulnerable, but it doesn't change the betrayal. "I feel you think she deserves that." "Alex." I snap. "I'm not saying she deserves a free pass, but you owe it to yourself to hear her side." Alex insists, crossing his arms. "You need to confront this together, even if it's ugly." I take a deep breath, the weight of the moment pressing down on me. Fine. But I swear if she tries to play the victim, I won't hold back. Good. Let's hear what she has to say. Alex nods, leaning against the wall. "Sarah," I say, my tone icy. "What really happened last night?" She takes a shaky breath, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "Jake, I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I was overwhelmed with work and I needed someone to talk to. Mr. Henderson was just there." "Just there? You think that makes it any better?" I shoot back, anger bubbling over. "I know it looks bad, but I swear nothing happened. I was stressed and I wanted to vent." Her voice trembled, and for a moment I see the cracks in her facade. "Do you really expect me to believe that you were in his house in the shower?" I can't help but raise my voice, frustration spilling over. "Jake, please," she pleads, stepping closer. "I made a mistake, but it wasn't what you think. I promise." "Stop promising. That means nothing now," I growl, feeling the walls closing in. "Let's take a step back," Alex interjects, trying to defuse the situation. "Jake, listen." "Sarah, what do you want?" "I want my husband back." She replies, her voice breaking. "I want us to work through this. I love you." "Jake," the words hang in the air, heavy and suffocating. My heart aches as at her admission, but I also feel the bitter sting of betrayal. "Can love really fix this?" "I can't just forget what I saw." I say, my voice steadier now. "Trust is broken." "Saw? It's not that simple. We can rebuild it. I'll do anything." She promises, desperation leaking into her voice. "I need you to believe me." "I don't know if I can." I admit, pain lacing my words. Just then the door swings open again, and in walks Mrs. Henderson, Mr. Henderson's wife, with a plate of cookies. Her presence instantly shifts the atmosphere. I thought I heard voices. "How's everyone doing?" I exchange glances with Sarah, the tension palpable. I feel a sense of urgency in the air. The need to figure things out before more people get dragged into this mess. Just dealing with a bit of a situation. I reply, forcing a smile that doesn't reach my eyes. "Is everything okay, dear?" Mrs. Henderson asks, looking between us with concern. "Yeah, everything is fine." Sarah interjects, her tone too bright, but I know that's a lie. The weight of our conversation hangs over us like a storm cloud, and I can't shake the feeling that this is only the beginning. As Mrs. Henderson chapters on about her garden, I feel the anger simmering beneath the surface, and my resolve heartens. I won't let this go unanswered. The taste of revenge lingers on my tongue, and as Sarah meets my gaze, I realize that I have a choice to make. This isn't just about healing. It's about reclaiming what's mine and ensuring that she feels the consequences of her actions. I take a deep breath, preparing for the inevitable confrontation, knowing that this is just the beginning of a dark journey. The intrigue of betrayal twists in my gut, and I sense that the storm within me is far from over the days, blurred together in a haze of tension and unspoken words. Sarah and I coexist like strangers in our own home, the air thick with unresolved emotions. The once warm glow of our living room now feels cold and uninviting. I try to immerse myself in work, but the nagging thoughts about Sarah and Mr. Henderson keep invading my mind like unwelcome guests. It's Friday evening and the world outside seems to move on without us. As I plop down on the couch, flicking through the channels, I hear a soft knock on the door. It's Alex again, his familiar presence, a welcome distraction. "Hey man," he greets, stepping inside and taking a seat across from me. "How's it going?" Like a train wreck. I reply, leaning back and rubbing my temples. It's a constant reminder of what I lost. "Have you talked to Sarah any more about everything?" He studies me, his eyes searching for signs of progress. "Not really, it's like we're playing house, pretending everything's okay, while the elephant in the room is about to stomp on us." I say, frustration spilling out. "Maybe you should consider a different approach." He suggests, leaning forward, get her to open up more. "There's got to be more to this story." "Yeah, like what? How she was almost naked in another man's house?" I scoff, anger flaring up. I'm not exactly in the mood for hearts. Alex sighs, shaking his head. "I know it's tough, but maybe that's what she needs." She's probably scared. A little compassion could go a long way. I stare at him, the weight of his words sinking in compassion after what she did. It feels like a slap in the face. "Just hear me out." He urges, "You both need to face the music. Maybe after you talk you can figure out if there's something worth saving." Maybe, I mutter. But deep down I know I'm not ready to forgive. Before I can say more, the door swings open again, this time with a burst of energy. It's Sarah, her face flushed and her hair pulled back in a ponytail. "Hey guys, I thought we could have a little game night," she announces, trying to inject some cheer into the atmosphere. "Game night?" I raise an eyebrow, skepticism. Amazing from my tone. "Yeah, just like old times. It'll be fun," she insists, flashing a hopeful smile. Alex exchanges a glance with me and I feel the tension crackle in the air. "Sure, why not?" he says, a hint of encouragement in his voice. "Great." Sarah beams, her relief palpable. I'll grab the board games as she rushes to the closet. I lean toward Alex. "What do you think? Is this just her way of sweeping things under the rug?" "Maybe she's trying to show you she still cares. Give her a chance." He whispers back, his eyes urging me to at least consider it. I watch Sarah pull out a box of Scrabble, her enthusiasm infectious despite my reservations. "Come on, Jake, let's play. I'll crush you like I always do," she taunts, playfully. "Yeah, we'll see about that," I reply, trying to suppress a smile. The game begins, and as the tiles click together, a thin veneer of normalcy envelopes us. We joke and tease, but the laughter feels hollow, like an echo of what once was. Sarah makes a play, and I glance up at her, noticing the way she lights up when she wins. Part of me longs for that connection. The intimacy we once shared, not bad, but I'm still ahead. I smirk, trying to keep the mood light even as my heart feels heavy. "Just wait. I'll come back with a vengeance," she retorts, determination in her eyes, but then her expression falters and she bites her lip, as if remembering our unresolved issues. Alex, sensing the shift, clears his throat. "So how's work been treating you?" Sarah, "Oh, busy, as always," she replies, forcing a smile. "I'm juggling a few big projects, but nothing I can't handle." I catch her glance darting toward me, her eyes searching for reassurance. I want to give it, but anger swimmers beneath the surface. "Right, because that's what you were doing the other night, too." I say, my voice laced with sarcasm. "Jake," Alex scolds, shooting me a warning look. "Come on, man, let's keep it fun." I'm just saying, I mutter, feeling the tension rise again. The game continues, but every playful jab now feels like a potential grenade. The atmosphere shifts and I sense Sarah's resolve faltering. Just then, the doorbell rings again and Sarah rushes to answer it, relief flooding her face as she sees our neighbor, Mrs. Henderson. "Hi dear, I brought some brownies," she chips, entering the living room with a plate of treats. "I thought you might want some company." Perfect timing. Sa replies a bit too enthusiastically, "You can join us for game night." Mrs. Henderson nods, settling down with a smile. "I love Scrabble. What's the score?" she asks, glancing around the table. I can't help but feel an uneasy sense of irony in this moment. Here we are playing games, while beneath the surface everything is crumbling. Jake is in the lead. Sarah states, shooting me a glance that seems to say, "Be nice. Let's change that." Mrs. Henderson chimes in, her eyes twinkling. As the game resumes, I feel a wave of frustration wash over me. The facade of happiness only amplifies my internal conflict. I catch Sarah's gaze, and for a fleeting moment, I see the girl I fell in love with, the one who used to fill the room with laughter, not secrets. The game drags on, and as the night deepens, the playful banter shifts into a battle of wits. I feel the weight of my resentment collide with my longing for connection, just as I'm about to throw out a cutting remark. Sarah reaches for a tile, her fingers trembling. "Hey, I just want you to know I'm sorry for what happened," she suddenly blurts out, her voice wavering. "I know I messed up, and I'll do anything to fix this." Mrs. Henderson glances between us, sensing the tension. "Oh, sweetie, it's tough when relationships hit bumps. Communication is key," she advises, her voice warm and motherly. "Is it too late for us?" Sarah asks, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. Maybe I say, my voice barely above a whisper. "You have to earn back my trust." "Sarah, then I'll fight for it." She insists, determination flaring in her eyes. "You're my husband and I want to prove I can be better." "Prove it." I reply, my voice hardening, but I'm not sure I can just jump back into things like nothing happened. Sarah nods, her expression pained but resolute. "I understand, just don't give up on us yet." Mrs. Henderson interrupts, offering a slice of brownie to lighten the mood. "Here, try this. It might help with those heavy hearts." I take a piece but feel the weight of the moment as laughter erupts around us. I know that this is only a temporary reprieve. The storm within me is far from over, and the intrigue of Sarah's betrayal lingers like a shadow over our game night. As the clock ticks into the late hours, I realize that the real battle is just beginning. The stakes are high, and I'm not ready to let go of the anger that fuels my desire for revenge. The stage is set for a confrontation that could change everything, and I can't shake the feeling that the truth is still lurking, waiting to be uncovered. The days slip by like water through my fingers, each one more tortuous than the last. Sarah and I continue our charade, navigating a minefield of unresolved tension, lies, and unspoken truths. The game night, with Mrs. Henderson only papered over the cracks for a moment, behind the veneer of normalcy. Our relationship feels like it's hanging by a thread. I find myself becoming increasingly restless, the anger simmering just below the surface. Each time I look at Sarah, I'm reminded of the betrayal that shattered our life together. The more we try to pretend everything is okay, the more it feels like we're both actors in a terrible play. One evening I'm at work, drowning in spreadsheets and emails. When Alex calls, "Jake, I've got something for you," he says, his voice low and serious. "What is it?" I ask, my heart racing. "I spoke to Mrs. Henderson," he replies, a hint of urgency in his tone. "I think you need to come home. There's something you should know." I hang up, dread pooling in my stomach. I race home, my mind spinning with possibilities. What could Mrs. Henderson have to say? That's so urgent. I burst through the door, finding Sarah sitting at the kitchen table, her face drawn. "Jake, you're home early," she says, forcing a smile that doesn't quite reach her eyes. "Where's Alex?" I ask, feeling a sense of foreboding wash over me. "He went out to get some coffee." Why her voice trembled slightly, and I catch the flicker of anxiety in her gaze. "I just spoke with him," he said. "He has something important to tell me," I reply, crossing my arms defensively. A moment of silence stretches between us, thick with unspoken tension. Sarah fidgets, her eyes darting away. Maybe it's not important, we can talk about us instead." "Talk about us? We've been doing nothing but that." I shoot back, my patience frame. "I want to know what Alex found out." Just then the door swings open and Alex steps in, a look of urgency etched on his face. "Hey, Jake," he says, his voice low. "I need to talk to you privately, IG. Now," and step into the living room, leaving Sarah behind. "What's going on?" "I got a tip about Sarah." he says, his voice barely above a whisper. I'm not sure how to say this, but I think there's more to the story than you know. What do you mean? I ask, my pulse quickening. Mrs. Henderson told me she's seen Sarah meeting with another man a few times. She thought it was just a friend at first, but now his voice trails off, the implication hanging heavy in the air. No way, that can't be true. My heart races, disbelief washing over me. She told me it was nothing. Jake, I'm serious. You need to confront her. He insists I wouldn't bring this up if I didn't think it was important. A wave of anger and betrayal crashes over me, and I feel my hands clench into fists. I can't believe this. I thought we were starting to work through things clearly. Something is off. Alex says, his tone grave. You deserve to know the truth. I take a deep breath, feeling my resolve harden. You're right. I can't let this go. It's time to get to the bottom of this with a determined stride. I march back into the kitchen where Sarah sits, her demeanor already shifting as she sees my expression. What's wrong? She asks, her voice thick with feigned innocence. Sarah, I need you to be honest with me. I say, keeping my tone steady. Are you seeing someone else? Her face pales, and for a split second I see the mask slip. What? No, how could you even think that? She stammers, but the quiver in her voice betrays her. Alex, heard from Mrs. Henderson that you've been meeting someone. I say, cutting through her denial, you need to tell me the truth. She opens her mouth to respond, but then closes it as if weighing her options. Jake. Please. It's not what you think. Then what is it? Because I can't keep playing this game anymore. I feel the fury boiling inside me, the need for clarity consuming my thoughts. I don't want to lose you. She finally admits, tears streaming down her cheeks, but I was feeling so alone, and I thought what that it was okay to find someone else. My voice rises, echoing in the small kitchen. No, I never meant for it to go that far. It was just a friend, someone to talk to. She pleads, her hands trembling. Just a friend. I shake my head in disbelief. I've heard that excuse before. You've shattered my trust. Sarah, you can't expect me to believe you. Jake, please. I need you to listen. She cries, her desperation palpable. I was confused. I didn't want to hurt you, but everything spiraled out of control. I laugh, bitterly, feeling the weight of every word. You mean you chose to betray me? Instead of talking to me, you chose to sneak around. Please just give me a chance to explain. She begs, her voice cracking, but I can't take it anymore. I feel the anger boiling over the reality of what I've lost crashing down on me like a tidal wave. You've had enough chances. Sarah, this is beyond saving. Jake, she screams, but I turn away, my heart racing. I know I can't stay here any longer. Maybe it's best if we just end this. I say the words, feeling both heavy and liberating. And this you don't mean? That she cries, her face crumbling in despair. Maybe I do. I reply, feeling the finality of the moment settling over us. You've chosen betrayal over honesty. I can't forgive that. Just then, the door swings open and Alex steps back in. Sensing the tension, what's happening, he asks, his voice uncertain. Nothing. Just nothing, I say, feeling the anger drain from me, replaced by a hollow emptiness. Jake, don't do this. Sarah pleads, desperation clawing at her voice. We can work through it. I love you. Love isn't supposed to feel like this. I retort, shaking my head. I can't live with the constant fear of betrayal. With that, I walk out the door, leaving behind the shattered remnants of what was once a beautiful life. The weight of Sarah's voice calling after me fades into the distance as I step into the cool evening air, breathing deeply, feeling free yet utterly broken. As I walk away, I hear the door slam behind me, the finality echoing in my ears. I can't look back. I know that our lives are now forever altered, marked by deceit and anger. The intrigue that once filled our relationship has vanished, replaced by an emptiness that hangs in the air like a specter. I glance at the stars overhead, each one a reminder of lost dreams, and I realize that sometimes the truth is a bitter pill to swallow. The path ahead is uncertain, but I know one thing. I refuse to live in the shadow of betrayal any longer, and with that I step forward into the night, leaving the past and Sarah behind forever.